Right, here is the start of me making my sill. This is 8x2s, oak, offcuts. I've done the whole house, finishings, the skirtings, the facings, some door frames for basically £200. If you go to sawmills in France, you can go get scraps. I mean, these are between 2 metres and 2.5 metres, and they're basically £10 a 10 euros a bit. So anyway, I've got this. This is one 2 metre length, cut in half. Now, what we usually do here, if you can see the grain's going round that way and round that way. But usually what we do is have them so they're going opposite. But that's too big, so what I'm going to do is cut these in half again, lengthwise, and that'll give me 4 bits. So we're back the old trusty Makita with a new blade. So I'll rip these in half and get back. Now that's them cut in half. Now what I'm going to do is lay them flat on the table, lower the blade, flat on the table, and show you how I'm going to sort them. Now, I don't know if you can see the grain. I've got this one going up, this one going down, this one going round, and that one going up. They're all different, so that should sort of minimise any sort of warping and twisting and kinking and stuff, hopefully. Now, as you can see, there's gaps in the middle. So what I'm going to do is get a straight edge and make the joints as straight as I can. I've posted a video on how to do that if you want to give that a check. Can't remember what it's called, or I think I have. Maybe no. I'll post it anyway. Right, I'll get a straight edge and get that done. Now, that's reasonably straight, but if you can see here, there's still, the joint isn't quite right. So what I've done is screwed on these 2 pieces of wood here, and then I'm going to pass the whole lot through the saw, so the blade cuts both sides of this joint, both sides of that joint, and both sides of this joint at the same time. Well, obviously one cut at a time. Because I don't have a jointer to get things perfectly straight, this is a trick you can do with a table saw. So what I'm going to do is set the blade so it's right down the centre of that joint, set the guide rail, lift the blade so it's just touching that stick that I've screwed on, and that'll hold everything in place while I cut this. So we'll see how this goes. Right, so I've set the saw maybe 5mm above the wood. Even that might just be a bit too much. I'll put it down a wee bit there. It's just clearing there. So it's this height, so I don't go all the way through these sticks and cut them off, because I'm not. I want to pass it through without cutting up sticks. So we'll give it a go. Now here's what we've got: four cuts, the width of the blade, so it's cut both faces at the same time. It should, in theory, clamp up pretty damn tight. So I'll take that screws off and get her onto clamps. Now that's them in the clamps, test fitting. This one's lying a wee bit off, but if I push that up, it's a perfect joint. 3 perfect joints. Quite happy with that. Right, I'm going to glue them up and clamp them up. Right, back in a bit. Now, that's how glued up. She's looking pretty. It's a bit uneven on the top, but I will be planning on not doing, and in the morning she'll be ready to sand and ready to get fitted. So see you tomorrow. Now here's our sill all clamped up and glued and set overnight. She was a scorcher of a day yesterday, so it's dried up pretty bonny. Now there's a few bumps in it. That's alright though, it was flat on the bottom. So what I'll do is I'll get my wee Makita planer there and plane this flat, and then get a sand and show you what that looks like. She'll be pretty sweet, I think. Now that's her planed up there. All I did was the high ones just plane this way. That was this to here, and then to get it flat, just go across the way. So on a slight diagonal, and when you look down it, she should look pretty flat. There's a slight wee high bit at that far off corner, so I'll take that out. That's just another skiff with the plane, so I'll take that out and get back. Now, if you want it absolutely perfect, just get yourself a wee straight edge, run it across, give it a couple, and you can see where it's sitting. So I've got a wee, hardly anything here, very slightly here, and touching there. I'm quite happy with that. Take over this end, and we just have one wee bit here, which means it's high, and one wee bit there. That's nothing. If you want it absolutely perfect, you can muck about for hours doing it like that. We have an old house, so I don't want it perfect. I don't want it perfectly flat. I don't want it perfectly smooth. You know, hand sand. Well, I'm going to sand it with my grinder in a minute. 60 grit, 120, 240. That should be fine. Get it all sanded bonny, and then we'll see how we're going to fit. Now to sander, all I've got 60 grit, and I'm just going to go up, down, and then cross, and then up, down again. Do that a couple of times. Hopefully she'll come up pretty good for the 60 grit. It'll take all these wee lines off, so as long as all that lines come off, I'll be quite happy. Right, I'll do that and get back. Now that's the first pass with the 60 grit. Sanding like that. It took about maybe 5 minutes just. Now here is old saw marks from the original face of the board. I'm going to keep them in there. Same here. You know, I'm going with an old fashioned look, and this just gives it a wee bit of, just an extra wee bit of character. These knot holes, not sure what I'll do with them. I might put resin in it, put something, you can fill it with resin and put something in it. Like a wee, like in my kitchen worktop, I've got a wee bullet, and is that 10 cents piece from pre-decimal, pre-Euro France. I mean, you can get different colours. You could fill it blue or gold or bronze or silver, or just leave it clear. Right, anyway, I'm blethering crap. Right, so I'll sand this 120 now and get back. Now, here's it after 120 grit. Got pretty much all the 60mm grit bits out, wee marks. Still the odd one or two, but they're no bad. Now these wee these wee holes, that is where I screwed on that piece of wood to get the joints perfectly straight and tight. What I'll do is I drop wood glue and get a sand, same at that side, and yeah, that'd be cool. Now, what else I could do, I have some like old cut clasp nails. If I can find them, I could cut the heads off them and make it look like I've fitted it with that. We'll see. We'll see. Now, I've filled all the wee holes with glue, and I've just got a wee stick scraper and just force it in. And any other wee imperfections you didn't want to see, just give them a couple of wee bits here that I don't want to keep. Sorry about the shadows, it's earlier in the morning and she's awful warm, you can. She's awful warm in Brecht today. 27 degrees and bloody start of April. Oof, might need to take my pants off later for that. Right, anyway, I'll sand that down and get back. Now, that's our fully sanded down. These holes, I'm never really happy with them. So what I might do is, I might just put in some screws, just in a wee bit, nip the heads off them, sand it flat, and then it'll look like they're supposed to be there for some reason. But that is absolutely, I can't fault that. There's a teeny wee hollow there, but I wish you could feel it. It's just beautiful. Beautiful wood French oak. Right, aye, that's what I'm going to do. Put screws into them holes, sand them off. Right, I'll show you what I'm doing. Now, all I've done is taken some of the shittiest wee screws I could find. Just stuck them in halfway. Grind the head off it. That's them set in place there. Grind the heads off and then just sand it. And see how that looks? Yeah, that's them sanded off. Flush. That doesn't look too bad actually. So that's one way of getting rid of your screw holes that you've left in your wood and you don't know what to do with it. Stick a screw in and sand it off. Now, we'll go see if it